Hello again. Thank you for coming to Generation Studios. My name is Pierre Benamy, and this channel is for encouraging a new generation of young creators, filmmakers, animators, and video gamers to perfect their craft and to, take their creative work to their highest potential, and to have fun doing it, and to know that they're not alone in their search for creative satisfaction, I would say. Today is just gonna be like a story day, I suppose, where it's almost Christmas. Christmas is a few days away, and made me think about my past when it came to Christmas and what it means to me and what it has meant to me. And first off, as a Christian, I wasn't always raised with, the beliefs I have now. I didn't grow up celebrating holidays. My family was a Jehovah's Witness family. And, we grew up not celebrating anything. We grew up not saluting the flag. We grew up not, saying the Pledge of Allegiance in school. A lot of things separated us from the average American child that, it transcends into adulthood. So I guess from up to maybe about 10 years old, I was just raised that way, not celebrating any types of holidays except for the memorial of the death of Christ. That's just about it. I didn't celebrate my birthday, didn't celebrate anything like that, because as Jehovah's Witnesses, they taught us to, not put man's holidays above, God's things. So it seems like, you're part of the world and you're not part of God if you are celebrating those types of holidays. That's what they always believed, and that's what I was taught growing up as a Jehovah's Witness child. But as an adult, to me, after all that, Christmas just seems like another day of the year. It's just another, it's just a day that comes and goes. That whatever nostalgia I've ever had for it has just been deleted from me as a child. But there was a time in my early to mid 20s when I was in university. I had a part-time job in retail, and it was like a retail pharmacy. And around Christmas time, as you can imagine, it was always busy, always packed. And I remember this particular time in my life, as we go into university, as you can imagine, there are a lot of financial issues that you have to deal with. And I remember I took some extra shifts on Christmas, around that Christmas week or so. And because I didn't value any holidays or spend any time with my family, really, I allowed other workers to take their time off while I took their shifts, and I was able to make a little bit more money. And I remember at this one day I was working, the store was just packed of customers, with lines of customers. And I used to work in the photo department. And the front store had their customers that are just buying decorations and Christmas cards, and they had their own customers. And in the photo department where I was, we had our own customers, and I was making pictures and printing pictures of children with Santa Claus and everything. So I had my own set of customers, and the front store had their own set of customers. And I remember the front store, they were just so packed and always asked me for help. I'm like, I have my own line of customers, and my work takes so much time per one customer that I couldn't really. I didn't. I was working there by myself. There was one of me, but 3 cashiers, and they still couldn't handle the workload. And they're asking me for help, and I'm like, I'm trying, and it was just a complete mess. It was like that always at that store, at that location. It was always like that during the holiday season. And then I remember just taking a moment to stop and look at these lines of customers. They're trying to buy their last minute Christmas gifts for their children. Whatever issues these people are having, probably no different from mine. They have bills to pay, they have rent to pay, they're trying to pick up toys, they're trying to make this moment of the year valuable for someone. And I remember just looking at them and I was just thinking, look at all these sheep. Look at all these sheeple, they're just in line, doing whatever corporate America tells them to do. Corporate America tells them that, this time of year you buy X, Y, and Z. Your decorations are these 3 or 4 colors. You need a tree, you need lights, and they're just hopping to this tune. I'm thinking they're here spending hundreds of dollars. I remember one lady, she was buying all these Christmas decorations and she must have spent over $1,000 at a retail pharmacy, And I remember thinking, I had no money at this point. At this point in my life as a university student, I remember my bank accounts were empty, they're overdrafted, and my other family members, they weren't doing that well either. And for my own pride, I didn't want to ask anyone for help. And I've always been a very prideful person like that. And I always figured, if I could just, keep my head down and work, things will always work out. And that's what I always believed. And so, I was working, have all these customers, I'm getting behind on orders, and lunch is coming up and I have no money for lunch. I have no money for the next day, and I'm just trying to make it until payday. And I remember, I can still remember his face. There was this customer. He was about a black guy, my complexion, probably mid-30s. He was bald, looked very similar to me anyway. And he was getting some pictures, I think, of his honeymoon or something like that. And I made the first batch, and he was very nice. It wasn't exactly what he wanted, but he was going to take it anyway. And I kind of felt like, if you're willing to spend your money, you're going to come here, and I'm not going to give you something that I'm not going to let you pay for something that you don't want. So I was like, no, let me just, I said it quietly because I have all these other customers. I said, no, let me just remake this for you. Let me make it to where you want. So I made the pictures over again, and we had a very slow machine, but he stood by and, I was making his pictures for me, and then there's the cashiers at the front are still asking me for help. I can't help them. I'm helping this guy. I have more customers. I have customers on the phone calling in. I have all this. I have orders coming online. I have all these things going on, and it's just me by myself. And at the same time, I'm looking at all these people spending hundreds, thousands of dollars. I have nothing. And I just felt so bitter, and I felt so angry, and I felt so selfish at that point. And then when I finished this guy's pictures, the same guy, the bald guy getting wedding pictures, I finished his pictures, and he said, thanks, man. You're great and everything. I'm like, yeah. He's thanking me. I'm thinking, just thinking about everything else I have to do. And then he turns and he leaves. Maybe about a minute or two later, the same guy comes back, and I'm thinking, oh man, did something else go wrong? Do I have to remake his pictures again? And then he took out a $20 bill and he said, God told me to give this to you. And at that moment, it's just $20. And normally when people tip me, because the company had a rule against tips, and plus, because of pride, I never liked taking tips anyway. So I always push people off. So first I said, no, it's okay, it's fine. And then when he said, God told me to give this to you, I was a Christian at this point. I was maybe 24. And then, you get that feeling like it's a cold winter day if you're in that climate, and you walk out your front door and the cold air just hits you in the face, and your nose starts burning, and your eyes start burning. And that's exactly how I felt. I felt like the tears just stinging me in the face because I had nothing. I cleaned out all the change I've had. I took my pennies and dimes and everything. I already used everything, and just because of my own pride, I wouldn't ask anyone for help, and then this random guy, gives me $20 and because I know how to use a dollar. So that $20, lasts me for days, buying enough for me to get by. And it just humbled me in a way where it's like, God can see your pride or see whatever you're going through, whatever is stopping him from helping you, and he can just break that down. And when you embrace humility, I guess, when you finally put that pride to the side and you let him work on your behalf, it just changes something in you that it just makes you see the world a different way. And I might have to make another part to this story to, compare and contrast then that Christmas with now. But it just, that experience, just some random stranger feeding me for a couple of days, that has such a profound impact, and it makes me look at humans and people in a completely different light. And that none of us are perfect, and none of us have it going together. We're all failing in something that we want to do. But you only really fail when you give up at something. So if you're an artist and you have ideas and that's all you have, you don't have contacts, you don't have networks, you don't have large budgets, and no one's giving you the time of day, you're only going to fail when you decide to give up. If you keep going, and if you look at every new day of life as an opportunity, then you will become something. You will become something, and that something depends on how hard you're willing to work, and how you're willing to fine-tune your craft as an artist. So whatever you're doing, or whatever you want to do and you're not doing, you need to start doing it. You need to put the fear and the laziness aside, and you need to take the risk. Going into 2020 and beyond in the rest of your life, you need to take the risk and let your failures mold you, and let your failures mold you into your success. Let the obstacles in your path become the path, and let them strengthen you, where when you meet the same problems again, you're gonna have a completely different and better answer to whatever the problem was before. So I guess, that's a very short part one, and I want to make each video kind of short in a way. So I'm gonna make part 2 to this in a minute, and then you might see it a day later, because I like to upload one video a day or so, maybe a couple hours apart, I don't know. But yeah, so that's part 1, and check back soon and you're gonna get part 2.